and welcome back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Sam Marshall. Today, we're talking mental health, specifically in the world of athletics and the importance of maintaining good mental health. Today, I am joined by the former professional golfer, Mr. Stephen Wheatcraft with the Mulligan Foundation. Stephen, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate you guys having me on. Pleasure to be here.
Of course. Sorry for interrupting the family vacation, but I'm glad we can do this virtually at least.
Yeah, I apologize for coming to you from the back porch of our vacation house here, but we were supposed to be back in town, and I was going to do this in person, but we decided to stay out here a little bit longer.
No worries at all. I'm not going to hate on a man for extending some vacation time with the family. Steve, if you don't mind, share us a little bit. What is the Mulligan Foundation, and what was the inspiration behind starting this whole thing?
Yeah, so I appreciate you asking. The Mulligan Foundation was founded from, honestly, it was from my own experiences. So I was a professional golfer. I played on the PGA Tour for 7 years, the Korn Ferry Tour for 7 years, but I basically was a golfer my entire life, and that's kind of what I was known as. And but I played through from 2006 to 2019 on those two tours. I decided to retire on my own, free will. I was just tired. I was burnt out. I just didn't enjoy the game like I did at one point, and I was fine walking away from it. I truly was. And I got into my next role as a financial advisor. And about 2 years into that role, I just started to wake up and wasn't feeling right, was just depressed a lot, down in the dumps, couldn't figure out what was going on. I just assumed, like all men do, that, hey, I'll just work through this. It's just a little funk I'm in. I can't figure out what's going on, but I'll work through it. And then, a couple of days turned into a week, turned into a month, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And finally, one day I had a case that was supposed to go through for me, and it ended up not working out. And I had kind of like a mini panic attack that morning at 7:15 in the morning. And I was the only one in the house. And I walked over and poured myself a nice tall glass of vodka with a little splash of orange juice on top. And I'm not proud of that, but that's my story. And that started a kind of a whole new way of life for me. And I was a functioning alcoholic for the better part of 2 years. And I did it only because it was easier to kind of numb myself with the alcohol than it was to face reality of, I was starting to hate myself. I hated my identity. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had tied so much of my identity and my self-worth to the game of golf, and I didn't realize that I had until it had become too late. And as I said, it was just easier to numb everything than it was to kind of face it head on, like I'd done everything else in my life. But yeah, so I finally got myself the treatment. I checked myself into a treatment facility and got myself the treatment I needed. And after that was all said and done, I just felt like I needed to help others. I felt like I needed to share my message because it could have been somebody else out there that needed to hear my story. So I wrote a little letter that I was supposed to send just to the PGA Tour players, and last second decided to put it on Twitter. And about 3 million people later, I knew that the message had hit home with a lot of different people. And it was going to be my job to kind of share that message and to let people know that, hey, it's okay to not be okay. And, I took pride in being mentally strong for years and playing professional golf in that aspect, in that way. And then I realized that I was just very weak and I was, overcome with emotion, and I didn't handle it very well. And I could have faced it head on and got myself the therapy that I needed early, but instead I chose a dark route, and it sent my life spiraling. But yeah, that's kind of where the Mulligan Foundation came from. I just felt like there was a bigger calling for me, and I wanted to be able to help other people. So we implemented the Mulligan Foundation the fall of last year, and it's been taken off very quickly in a great way.
Assuming it's evolved past just Twitter messages now, correct?
Yes, very much so. So we're obviously we got started in the golf space because that's the easiest for me. It's something that's familiar to me. It's where my name is known still in circles out there. So we're helping, as much as I'd love to go out there and help the PGA Tour players, a lot of them are older, more established. They're, as bad as it is to say, they're kind of set in their ways as far as the stigma of working on their mental health. And it's a lot like banging your head on a wall out there trying to teach them something that they have been taught their whole lives not to listen to, right? So it's, hey, be strong. You got to work through this. You can't show weakness. All the things that, those things are learned behaviors, right? We're not born knowing those things. They're learned behaviors. And the older you get, the more you hear those from different people in different circles. So our approach is going to be more of a grassroots approach where we're going to try to go after the, 14 to 20-year-old kids that are, have aspirations of playing professional sports, and just try to help them at that level, teach them that, hey, it's okay if you're 15, 16, 17 years old and you're struggling with something mentally. It's okay to talk to somebody. It'll actually help you in the long run. It'll help your sports. It'll help your academics. It'll help your family life. And, that way, by the time they do get to the professional sports realm, if they do ever get there, hey, that's so-and-so, she's a part of my team. She's been here from day one, and it's not looked at with negativity. It's looked at as a positive.
Yeah. I'm sure it's so much more impactful coming from someone like you, right? So for all those young athletes out there, you did it. You achieved the dream that they've been working years and years for, and hopefully will get to one day. And for you to be able to approach them, say, hey, there's so much more to life than just this, right? This is great. It can be incredible, right? Chase after it. But finding your true identity, right? To be founded and grounded in something that's even bigger than sports, the importance of that. So I'm sure you being able to approach them with that experience, with that knowledge, can make it even that much more impactful. So that's incredible.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that, somebody put it a funny way, but they said, we just need to hear it from the cool kids. The kids in school need to hear it from the cool kids that it's okay to do stuff like this. And I'm not saying, I'm a cool kid, but I played professional golf on the PGA Tour. But at the same time, I also know the power of partnering with you guys like Michael Phelps or Kevin Love or DeMar DeRozan and people like that have been outspoken about their own mental health, where, if we're standing in front of kids and, if your dad tells you, hey, you need to work on your mental health, it's probably going in one ear and out the other. If your high school coach might say the same thing, and maybe it means a little bit more to you. But when Michael Phelps, possibly one of the greatest athletes of all time, the best Olympian of all time, stands there and says, here's what I wish I had done better. Even though I was a huge success, I wish I had done this when I was your age. It's going to mean a lot more than, somebody else talking to you. So we're utilizing those platforms as well. We're partnering.
Cool kids.
Yeah. We're partnering with groups like them so that we can go out there and we can talk to the junior golfers of the world and kind of do like the round panel or fireside discussion, however you want to word it. But, a bunch of us sitting up on stage, whether it be a professional golfer, whether it be a professional basketball player, whether it be a sports psychologist that helps golfers, well, anything along those lines, something that we're qualified to talk about it because we've been there, we've done that. But we're just trying to get our message through that way as well.
Qualified. I love that. And Stephen, if there's anyone out there who might be listening, could be struggling, what is one little piece of advice, one thing that you could leave them with?
Honestly, the best advice, it's so simple, it's stupid. Talk about things. Don't keep things in, because keeping things in never works out well for anybody. And it's amazing the power the first time you actually talk and you let something out, the weight that comes off of your shoulders, the weight that you feel, the freedom you feel. It's amazing. I still go to AA meetings, not because I'm worried about drinking, but just because of the therapy that it provides, and just having an avenue to talk and be able to talk about anything you want with no judgment whatsoever. And that's the best advice I can give to people, is just don't keep things in, and find somebody to talk to and open up and be honest with people.
Love it. So if people want to talk to you, how can they reach you? How can they reach the Mulligan Foundation?
TheMulliganFoundation.org is our website. Go check it out. And then they can also email me personally at steve@themulliganfoundation.org. And I'll try to get back to everybody I can. But, we're obviously here to help, and love any exposure people can help give us. And, hopefully we'll keep growing and keep making things bigger and better and getting in front of more people.
Love it. Love it. Stephen, thank you so much again for being on the show today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Sam, thanks for the time. I really appreciate you having me on.
Of course. This has been another episode of On a Mission. If you like this content and you're looking for more, go to dailynewsnetwork.com for more of this. Plenty of episodes out there. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time on a Mission.